Good morning and welcome to another pre-market review session with the Market Trader. My name's Ray, the Market Trader. And before we get started here, guys, we'll need to review our risk disclosure. So let's go ahead and do just that. All right. So just to remind everyone that the content that's being published and distributed by the Market Trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as an investment advice, an offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. We all understand that the use of this information contained herein is to be used at your own risk, and the company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees, contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. Future trading does carry a fair amount of risk. It's not for every investor. Investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital, money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle, should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation or an offer to buy, sell futures, options, or forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning, Anthewell. All right. So now that we've gotten through the risk disclosure, guys, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the financial news here and see what news we have in store today that could potentially impact the markets. Okay. So we have a number of folks speaking today. We have Fed member Miran speaking at 8:30 this morning. Then we have the 2-year note yield reporting today at 10 a.m. Eastern. And then we have some announcement coming from President Trump and our Secretary of, War coming in at 1:30. Okay. And then that should, as far as news today, be the extent of it. Now, we are coming up on some more economic news here coming tomorrow. So bigger news to come here over the course of the week. Obviously, some of this news has the potential of impacting the markets here. Okay. All right. So now that we have kind of a feel for the news that is in the horizon that could impact the markets, we're going to go ahead now and turn our attention to begin to review our charts. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna refresh here in a sec. Okay. All right, let's go ahead here. Make sure I can bring up my screen. Okay, 1 second. Okay, looks a little better. Window, one of these. There it is. Okay. Share. All right. Let's see, we're gonna turn this off here. Just gonna experimenting with some automation here. Okay. All right. Hopefully, I'm just going to pause here for a minute, make sure that everyone can see my screen. If you can post post a 1 in chat, let me know that you indeed are able to see my screen. That would be excellent. Okay, excellent. All right. Let's go ahead and start in on the gold market. This is a little bit earlier than I normally provide this reviews, but because of my schedule today, hopefully everyone got my note that I was going to be coming in a bit earlier today to do this pre-market review. Okay. All right. Let's see here. All right. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the daily chart here. Okay. So the we are in a market. Let's start off with the gold here. Okay. So starting off with the gold market, I'm going to take a peek here at the weekly, but I think we know what the answer is to this question. Okay, we're just trying to get some market context as to what's the overall direction of the market. And let's see what I got going here. We're going to go ahead and turn this off here for a moment. I think this is not even the right one. Okay, let's turn that off here for a moment. All right, so taking a look at the weekly chart, okay, you can see that we are above all our averages. I don't have. Let me open up a ribbon here. Like looking at moving averages when it comes to the higher time frame charts, and you can see here. This here is the 20. This is the 20 EMA, 50 EMA, 100 EMA, 200 EMA. Okay, and you can see that price is above all of them. Okay, so on the higher time frame, right? And I understand that some of these are relatively the same color here, but you can see this is our 9, this is our 20, this is our 50. I don't know if you guys see my cursor here. I'll do it this way: 9, 20, 50, 100, 200, and you can see prices above all of those levels. Okay, so. Right. So you can see that we. Good morning, Huang. Yeah, a new person, I believe. Is this your first time attending, Huang? It's a new name. Pause here and welcome you to the group. Okay. All right. So you can see on the weekly chart. You can see on the weekly chart that we are still very much in a bullish market here on the weekly chart. Looking at the daily, also you can see that we are very much in a bullish kind of trend here. And what I want to make a note of is that we are in the buy, right? So I'm going to go ahead. Okay, perfect, Huang. Okay, so here we are, right? We're breaking structure here to the upside. And you can see that we had this resistance level here at 43.70, and with Friday's price action, chart is gone. Why is that? Okay, let's reshare. I don't know why chart would be gone, but we'll refresh. Okay, how about Vamonos? Vamonos, are we back? Are we back? Vamonos. Very good. Very good, Vamonos. All right. Thank you for the confirmation here. Okay. So you can see on the daily chart, right? You can see on the daily chart, we're starting to break structure, not just any structure, guys. We're starting to break daily structure here to the upside. Okay. So meaning that there's a little bit of momentum in this move here to the upside. Okay. Now, do we have anything in the horizon that could cause price to stall? No, we're in kind of price discovery, right? So with no real resistance and us breaking above daily levels, that could be an indication that there's more upside to come here. Now, what I like to do in these kind of situations is when I don't have anything to really base my decisions on, I like doing a little bit of Fibonacci here to kind of get a sense of where price could potentially go. Okay, so we're already pretty much at the 100% extension of this swing here. Okay, we're already at the 100% extension of that swing. So we have the 1.618 extension at 46.33. Okay, so that would be a reasonable target. I'm not suggesting, guys, it would be. I'm not suggesting that that's going to happen today. Okay, but over the course of the maybe now until the maybe potentially end of the year into next year, we have the potential of reaching the 46.33 extension, and then we have obviously this 2.618, which would be quite strong over here at 4,900. Okay, but I think it is significant that we are managing to break above some structure here, indicating that our price market structure to the upside is still quite healthy. Okay, taking a look at the 4-hour chart. Looking at the 4-hour chart, we're going to go ahead and leave those levels there. They'll become again areas for us to maybe focus in on as far as potential targets here. Okay, you can see also on the 4-hour that we've broken some structure here to the upside at 43.85. Okay, 43.85. Also a nice little supportive level here, right? Could be a nice little supportive level. Okay. Again, we are above all these levels that we care about, right? To the upside, EMAs, 20, 50, 100, 200, all indicating that there's still quite a bit of health to this upside move. We see that we are developing yet another bullish engulfing candle here on the 4-hour chart, indicating there's still a good amount of support for this. And then this is, I think I don't know, looks like I have the cumulative delta here on the bottom. Cumulative delta is also giving us an indication here that there is some continued upside to this move. Let me go ahead and open up volume delta here. I prefer that to some degree. Volume delta, okay. And you can see there is a good amount of volume coming into this move that we're seeing. I'm going to go ahead and delete this one here for a moment. Okay, so you can see that the volume delta is aligned with the price action that we're seeing on the gold. Okay, so far weekly, daily, 4-hour all seem to be very much in alignment of further upside. Okay, taking a look at the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start off by taking a look here. So there's our 100% extension of this market here. Okay. Which I believe we are still very much in play for. We have our VWAP. This is our 9 EMA. This is our 20 EMA. And then we have our 50, 100, and 200. Okay. So we had our looks like our 20 cross above, our 9 cross above, our 20 EMA, also giving us indications that there is still a good amount of momentum, okay, in this market to the upside. I'm kind of inclined here to pull up my DMI here, okay, DMI indicator here. Also, I'm gonna modify this here a little bit to change colors here. My positive DI, I'm gonna make green. My negative DI, I'm gonna make red, and then I'm gonna make my momentum indicator itself blue. Okay. And you can see here, right? There's a good amount of momentum. Look, we have up to the 50 level on the momentum. Okay, kind of flattening, but nonetheless, we see that our positive DI is above our negative. No surprise, right? Everything is indicating that there's still more upside opportunities in this market. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at the fixed range volume profile. I'm gonna compare where price is in relation to Friday's price action here. And let's see here. We're going to go ahead all the way back to the start of the session, all the way to the close here. And you can see, well, you can't see because it's all underneath this. You can see that we're well above value from Friday. Okay, indicating that there is a good amount of participation here in this market to the upside. Okay, people are willing to pay a premium to be part of this market. All right. So, okay, so now let's take a peek here at the initial balance ranges. Looks like I may have deleted the wrong one here earlier as I was cleaning up my charts here. Okay, and oops, that's not what I wanted to happen. Okay, we're going to go ahead and choose this one. Okay, and we're going to modify this to the 1 hour. Okay, 1 hour chart. We're going to change our ranges to yellow. Okay, so I mean, again, guys, this is kind of an indicator that I use to support my understanding and view of the markets. Initial balance, okay, and then this will tell me the extensions, right? They serve as targets for my move. Okay, there we go. And do we need to highlight the opening range? We're not going to highlight the opening range. We're not going to highlight the opening range fill. Can say extending the balance over range fills during overnight. No, we're not interested in that either. Okay. All right. Okay. So now that I have my initial balance range established here, we're going to go ahead and take a look at this from the Asia's perspective and see. I think we're going to go ahead and confirm the same kinds of things we already know. Okay, about this, and you can see that we were in quite a strong move during Asia, right? This right here is the 200% extension. So if I measure this, okay, if I measure this top to bottom, okay, and extend this to where we are right now, right? We've already exceeded 400% extension of this original range. Quite the move. Okay. Taking a look at the London. Okay. London also bullish, I believe, maybe a little bit rangy appears. Yeah. So London managed to close above. Okay, we got a little bit of reaction, and what price held here? Well, price held above the initial balance high, and now we're in again another what it looks like to be another leg here to the upside. Now, I will say that we are a little bit extended here. I have settlement price here? I do not. Let's see. Let's see if I can add. Well, cleaned up too many things. I end up adding all of them back. All right, let's add this settlement price. Okay, let's change that to some gold dots. Okay, deepen this color here, and let's make this more of circles. Click OK. And I assume that we're way above. Where's my, don't see my, oh, there's our settlement price way below. Okay, there's our settlement price down by 43.64 here. Okay, it's not very visible. Let's see if I can enhance that some. See if we can make that a little bit more bold. Okay, there it is. Okay, there's our settlement price right on top of value here. Okay, so now that we are in this move, and I'm not suggesting this is necessarily going to happen today, but certainly any move down to this value range could provide us a logical place for price to continue. Okay, now I don't necessarily expect that to happen. I would say that the more logical thing for price to do at this point is to come back down and maybe potentially revisit value VWAP, right? And then offer us maybe a location for a continuation move to the upside. Okay, so those are the kinds of areas that I'm looking at now. Given this swing to the upside, I'm trying to figure out exactly where we might be able to look for maybe an opportunity to fade quite a strong month. I'm not suggesting that we look to fade this market. That's the furthest from the truth. But if I'm going to look at a location where we could potentially see some resistance, well, we have the 44.70 from a higher time frame that could offer us some resistance. And if I take this swing and measure this all the way up to here, and then take the lows, okay, well, then we have some other locations here, 45.27, that could also offer us maybe 44.93 that could offer us, and obviously we have the 4,500 level that could serve as an area of some resistance as well. Okay. Again, I'm not necessarily suggesting that that's going to be the case, but it does serve as some visual targets for our current move. Okay, would not be out of the realm of possibility here for this market to potentially get up to 44.90, 44.93. Okay, given the strength of this move. So heading into this session, I think you probably already know. Given the alignment of all these indicators as well as initial balance in our value areas, it appears that we are still very much in a market that is quite bullish, and we're seeing a fair amount of momentum in that direction, and price seems to be aligned with that momentum. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and take a look at the crude oil market. Okay, looking at the crude oil market, looks like I was looking at this last night, and I thought that maybe the market was starting to maybe show some signs of strength, and sure enough, it did here. I was kind of looking at this right around this time here. I think it was right around this time here, I think. Okay, and we were showing some signs of strength here. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the weekly chart and see. Now, again, weekly chart, we all know that we've been in this kind of bearish, kind of move. You can see that price is below all our EMAs. Okay, to our 200, our 100, our 50, our 20, our 9. We're all below it. Okay, so while we are seeing a little bit of bullish price action as we speak, we do also understand that we are still very much in bearish structure to the downside. Okay, have not really made it any significant headway or making any sort of new highs to indicate that we're breaking structure here to the upside. Okay, taking a look at the daily chart again. This is kind of what I was seeing earlier, right? When I was doing my weekly review of the markets, I was seeing that we were building a little bit of a demand zone here. Okay, a little bit of a demand zone, indicating that maybe we've discovered maybe a temporary bottom in this market. Okay, right? So this 55 level seems to be that level. Okay, and now we are seeing price manage to get above our 9. Okay, and working its way to maybe potentially get above our 20. Okay, EMA here. Okay, so that's kind of what we're seeing now. We're starting to see some structure. And again, if I were to draw my channels, right, you also can see that price is beginning to show signs that it wants to move higher. Okay, now obviously we have the 60 level to contend with. Okay, in order to really maybe potentially embrace this move. But we are beginning to see some signs of maybe more bullish participation. Okay, looking at the DMI indicator. Okay, so DMI, hopefully that's visible to you guys. Hopefully you guys see this. That green line is sloping to the upside. We are seeing that our negative DI is sloping to the downside, and our ADX is kind of giving us indication that maybe the move is going to be embraced, right? So if we can get our positive DI to cross above our negative DI, that would also kind of spell, further indication that there is a fair amount of momentum here to the upside in this move. Okay, taking a look at the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, again, more evidence. We're going to go ahead and turn off the initial balance here for a moment. Okay, so 4-hour chart, we're seeing some evidence. Okay, so we're starting to see price get above some of our EMA levels here. So we got right now it looks like it's above the 50. Okay, working its way to potentially get above the 100, and then we have the 200. Now, what do these levels offer us? Well, they also offer us locations where price could continue to reverse, right? So if you're not really embraced with this current move, right, and you feel like maybe you're taking on too much risk to the upside, well, you could do a lot worse than wait for this potential move up to the 200 EMA and look for reversal in price back to the downside. Okay, because that's, again, technically every time we've come up to that level, that's offered us a very nice move in that direction. Okay, so 4-hour, again, we're starting to make some higher highs and higher lows. Okay, very much, I would say, showing some signs of bullish price action of late. Okay, we still, I guess, have a ways to go here in order to really embrace bulls entirely. And I would say we need to get above the 60 level in order for that to happen. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and move into the 30-minute chart, and we'll take a look here and see where price is in relation to Friday's price action. Okay, so you can see here that prices our positive DI, okay, is above our negative, and our ADX is sloping up to the upside, indicating there's a fair amount of strength to the move. We're seeing our volume delta increase in the same direction, so price is aligned right now with volume. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take a look at our fixed range volume profile. We'll see where price is in relation to Friday's price action, and I think we probably could guess what that's going to be, but we'll go ahead and confirm. Okay, there it is. So what this provides is it provides us a logical location should price come back for support, right? So this 59, 56, 59, 56, 60 level would potentially prove to be an area of support. Okay, again, I'm not recommending, not suggesting that necessarily is going to come back to that level, but it's always important to know where we can find the various participants in the market, right? In this case, bulls. All right. The other area that I would be keen on would be VWAP. Okay, VWAP would be another location where I would expect maybe to participate right around the 57.33 level. You can see that price is very much extended here to the upside. We're seeing a good amount of volume come in the bullish direction. Okay, All right. Let's see what else. Oh, I'm gonna kind of compare my initial balance ranges across the various markets here. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with Asia. Okay, we'll change this to Asia here and see what Asia was able to do with this market. Asia was able to extend the range to the upside, but really London was the one that embraced the longs here. Okay, you can see that price did extend to the upside, but then London really came in and said, you know what, we really believe that uh, oil is undervalued, and we're going to take a significant position in oil. Okay, you can see a nice break of the initial balance range to the upside. Really didn't offer us much in the way of a pullback. Right, this is an indications that the move is quite strong, and we continue to the upside. Okay, so headed into the session, I would say that we are looking or showing signs of strength in this market. We need to see if maybe if we can look for opportunities in that direction. Certainly, the 9 EMA, this 57.62 level could offer us that such a location here. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that level here, 57.63. We're going to go ahead and mark that in green, and then also my VWAP also would be another location at 57.38. Okay, these are some logical locations for price. Okay, now if I'm more interested in on the downside, well, we have some levels obviously above us, right? We just looks like we're working our way toward 58. 58 could be a level, right? That where could cause price to reverse. We're already at that level right now. Okay. I'm going to see if let's see, open up ADR. I suspect that we're already above that range. Okay. A lot of lines here, guys. Apologize. Okay. Just gonna zoom in on this as best I can here. Okay, so we're already above the average daily range, okay, indicating there's a fair amount of strength in this move here to the upside, okay? So, really, I think, like I mentioned, is similar to the gold market. I think we need to continue to look for opportunities in this market to the bullish side, okay? Honestly, I don't think I've said this in some time in the crude oil, okay? But we are a bit extended. Okay, so looking for maybe a little bit of a pullback back to the 9, back to the VWAP, maybe back to the highs of the London range, which would be a pretty deep pullback. Would be some logical places for me to participate. If we're really aggressive, then I would say this 57.64 would offer me a level. 58 being kind of the line in the sand also could offer me another level here, as closer to 58 here, would maybe offer me location, assuming that we get a candle that closes in its current fashion here. Okay. All right. So that's kind of what I have for you guys on the crude oil market, a market that looks maybe picked up a bid to the upside here. Okay. So I'm taking a look at my like indicator, guys, and I'm seeing that we are a little light on the like. We're a little light on the likes at this point. Okay, so I'm going to encourage you guys. If what I'm sharing with you is resonating, is supporting you in understanding the markets, don't be shy in hitting the thumbs up. If you're not already a subscriber, guys, I am 2 subscribers away right now of reaching a milestone for myself here. Okay, 2 subscribers away from hitting the 1K mark. And so if you are new, if you're not a subscriber, I would encourage you guys to hit the subscribe button as well. Okay. And close the year right by leaving me a comment or two. All right. Leaving me a comment or two in the channel indicating how this analysis is supporting you in your analysis of the markets. Okay. All right. With that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the equity markets here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start. Let's see. We're going to turn off some of our drawings here, trying to clean this chart as much as I can. Okay. Always. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at the weekly and see what the weekly is saying to us. Okay. So looking at the weekly, we see again that all our indications, our market is still, showing some signs of strength. We did take a little bit of a pullback here, got down to the 20 EMA and found some buyers. Now we're holding above the 9 EMA, okay, in this market. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the ADR here for a moment. Okay, we're going to turn this off. Okay, but you can see also on the weekly that we are in some sort of consolidation, right? So there's some sort of consolidation pattern that is developing here, right? You can see a little triangle pattern that's developing in this market. So the question now becomes, is Santa going to make its appearance in this year? Well, I think, it seems like over the last couple of days that maybe that possibility could exist. We have a higher high that we developed, right? So we closed with a higher high here on Monday, another higher high, and then we closed lower. And now we are in the process of maybe starting the week on the higher end of that range. Okay. Taking a look at the daily. Okay. So this is potentially our third day in a row. There's a little bit of a gap here. Okay. A little bit of a gap. We had a gap open to the upside, indicating there's a fair amount of interest in this. Yeah. Small gap, right? Little small gap in this market, but nonetheless, that's a bullish sign. Okay. Now, if we do manage to get above 25,000, let's say 25,800, right? If we do manage to get above 25,800 or maybe 807, that could be to revisit strength here. This is the third day in a row. Bullish with a gap. Now, obviously, this is a developing candle here. Okay. Taking a look at the 4-hour. 4-hour also, let's maybe turn off our initial balance ranges here for a moment. Let's turn off initial balance. All right. So you can see, right? You can see that price is above our settlement. We're rapidly approaching that 807, the 25,807 level. And we are continuing to create some structure here to the upside, right? So if I were to follow this with a channel, right, you can see that we are very much in a bullish channel to the upside, right? We're not seeing any breaks of structure to the downside. We're in a market that's showing some signs of strength, okay, right? Now, the question now becomes, how is price going to behave once we get to 25,810, 800, okay? Are we going to find the same sellers that attempted to take price higher earlier, right? Are those same sellers, are they going to step into this market? Okay. That's the question that we need to ask ourselves. But right now, it appears that we still are in some bullish structure to the upside. Okay. Taking a look at the 30-minute. All right. You can see that price is above, Well, we're going to turn off some of these drawings here, guys. Okay. You can see price is above our settlement. You can see price is above all the EMAs that we care about. Okay. We're above VWAP. We're above the 20. We're above the 9. We're above the 50. We're above the 100. We're above the 200. Okay. All indicating the relatively strong upside move here. Okay. Now, I will say that the move that we've been making here is we're starting to see a little bit more participation. Okay. In the sellers here, right? So every move has been challenged, right? Every move that we've had so far has been challenged to the upside. Nonetheless, we continue to grind higher, okay? Let's take a look at the fixed range volume profile. Let's compare Friday's price action with what we're seeing right now, okay? And what we're seeing right now is a market that's still very much bullish, okay? There's our gap, right? There's the gap that was created here, right? In the open, right? When we opened the market on Sunday, there's the gap, right? Price has not. So at some point, I would expect that this gap is going to get filled. Whether that happens today is yet to be seen, but this gap will get filled at some point. Okay. So looking for maybe an opportunity down at around this 25,640 level, maybe as low as 25,600 would not be a bad place to maybe park my lazy lion to wait for those three-legged gazelles to come down and for water here. Okay. So that would be an area there that I would be looking for, maybe for a potential long in this market. All right. Let's see. We did fixed range. We're going to go ahead and take a look at our initial balance ranges across the various markets here. Okay, so we'll open this up here. All right, so we'll start off with the Asia market. Asia was, let's see, not pretty neutral, I would say, overall. Okay, pretty neutral overall. Okay, it wasn't until London that maybe tipped their hand a little bit as to the direction they would like to take the market. All right, so taking a look at London, you can see that London was able to has managed to get price above our initial balance range. Okay, again indicating that there is a fair amount of momentum in this move to the upside. I'm going to take a look at our ADR, our average daily range, and see where we are with respect to the average daily range. So there's still some room to the upside, right? So we have this 25,825 level. Okay, statistically, over the course of the last I don't know 14 days or so, we still have our average daily range is telling us that there's still some room to this move to the upside. Okay, this area right here, maybe as high as 25,875. I'm going to go ahead and mark this level here. Okay, so this area right here could serve as an area of some resistance to price. Okay, could offer us maybe a potential area to fade this market. Okay, but nonetheless, right now, I would say that the market indicating maybe a lesser degree with Asia, a little bit more with London, that the market is kind of maybe looking to continue its trek to the upside. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead now and move into the ES. Okay. Looking at the ES again, we're going to go ahead and start off with the weekly chart. Okay. Weekly chart. Again, we see that gap, right? We had a gap open to the upside. Okay. Indicating again that their folks are willing to pay a premium to be part of this market. There was some pent up demand in this market to the upside. Okay, so you see that gap that was created here. Okay, there's our gap, right? Right, so gap open. And with that gap, price is above some structure here to the upside. Okay, on the weekly chart. Okay, so again, indicating that there is a fair amount of momentum here to the upside in this market. Taking a look at the daily, there's our gap. Gonna open this up here a little bit. Okay, assuming that this candle closes above, right, this level here, this is a high of 69.15, then we're breaking structure to the upside. Okay, indicating that maybe there is some more upside opportunity. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this looks like a reverse kind of head and shoulder pattern, right? I don't know. This is depending on how you look at this. Let's call this the left shoulder. Okay, right. This is technically the right shoulder, I guess. This being the head, right? This is the head, right? And then we have the left shoulder here, right? You guys hopefully can see that kind of a reverse head and shoulder pattern. So what's that an indication of? Well, I don't know exactly, but I would say that if I measure the neckline all the way down to the head, well, that is telling us that maybe we have a potential of a move that would take us to 7,400. Okay, that's what this reverse head and shoulder pattern is telling me. Okay, or we potentially go the opposite way, but that's kind of what that pattern is telling me. Okay, I don't know how many of you guys follow that pattern, but that's what that pattern is telling me. Okay, 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, we're going to go ahead and turn off our ADR here for a moment. Okay, and take a look. All right, so there's our gap. Okay, clear as day. Nice gap to the upside. Price is challenging the highs here at 69.25 here. Okay, we are in some sort of bullish price structure to the upside, much the same as we saw in the NASDAQ. Okay, taking a look at the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart. All right, also giving us indications we're above all our EMAs, the 9, the 20, the VWAP, above settlement, above the 50 and the 100. Okay, continue to grind here to the upside in this market. All right. Fixed range volume profile here. So we're going to go ahead and see where price is in relation to Friday's price action. And we are indeed to the upside here. Okay. Price is above value, indicating again that folks are willing to pay a premium to be a part of this market. Taking a look at the initial balance ranges. Okay, we're going to go ahead and open up the Asia range, Asia set for the Asia session, and you can see that price is, let's see, price is during Asia was pretty neutral, but once we got to the London market was willing to take this market higher. Okay, as is confirmed by this here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and open up London. You can see that London extended to the upside here. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and open up our ADR just to see how much more of an upside opportunity we have. Okay, statistically, we could easily get to 69.42. Okay, as an upside target for this market. All right, that's kind of would be a reasonable target for this current move. Statistically, this is a statistical level. Okay, so headed into the session, I'm left with no other view here but to look for opportunities to the upside. I see a market that continues to show signs of strength. Okay. Now, am I willing to buy the tops of tops? No, but any pullback to the 9 or any pullback to the VWAP, okay, would be something where I would entertain. Okay. So so a pullback to the 9 here, which is around 69.15. A pullback to even the London IB high 69.13, and then VWAP at 69.10. These are all logical locations, okay, to look for maybe a continuation move to the upside. Okay, all right. Let's take our last look across the equities, and let's take a look at the Dow. All right, we're going to take a look at the weekly chart to start. Okay, and unlike the other markets, right, where we're seeing some signs of strength, we're seeing a little bit of weakness here in the Dow. Okay, so we had a little bit of an indecisive candle here to close out the week. We now have a developing candle that is bearish. Okay, so kind of leading us to believe that maybe while we are still in a bullish structure, maybe we are in for maybe a leg, kind of staircase leg here to the downside. Okay, taking a look at the daily showing us a little bit more in the way of range here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and turn off our ADR here. So seeing a little bit more in the way of range. We don't see the gap, right? We don't have a gap like we saw in the NAS and the equity markets, right? We see a market that's in range, right? And we see more bearish candles than we are seeing bullish candles, indicating to me maybe there's a possibility that this market could maybe come back to revisit some of these lows here. Okay, take a look at the 4 hour. 4 hour, again, we continue to see the market remain in this kind of range. Okay, a lot of range price action in this market, hovering around the settlement price. Okay, not really giving us an indication here, and I'm getting alerts on my platform that I should be looking for a buy here in the MES here. Okay, all right. So 4 hour again in range, 30-minute also in range. Okay, hovering right around settlement price here. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the fixed range volume profile and see where price is in relation to current price action. And you can see that price is on the lower end of the range. So of the 3 equity markets, the Dow seems to be the weakest. Okay, seems to be the weakest of the 3. Although it is at an area where would make for a logical, a reasonable level from a risk reward perspective, right? Because I could risk settlement for a move back to say maybe the top of this London, and maybe as high as the close of Friday. Okay, So while it is the weakest, it's probably at a better location if I'm thinking long, okay, on the equities, okay? Let's go ahead and take a look at the initial balance here across the various markets. And it seemed to me that it was quite neutral across the board. So let's take a look at Asia. Asia was relatively neutral, okay? We did take a peek below, didn't get too far before we found some buyers. London also not all that impressive. Okay. Yeah, London, all that again inside some sort of range. So of the three equity markets, I would say that the Dow seems to be the weakest of the three. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead now and take a look across all the markets here, guys. Again, I would have to say, heading into the session, I would say I continue to remain bullish on the gold market. Okay, crude oil has been bearish for some time, and maybe starting to show some signs of also some bullish behavior here. I would be quite keen on the maybe some of these higher time frame EMAs, maybe for a potential fade of this market. That would be in line, because on the higher time frame, I don't know if we've actually broken any sort of structure here necessarily to the upside, but in the shorter time frame, we are seeing some bullish price action. And then across the equities, certainly the Nasdaq is showing some strength to the upside here, right? We have price above our initial balance range for London, and is showing creating some higher highs and higher lows. ES, if my alert is true, is also showing some signs of strength here to the upside here. Okay. And last but not least, the Dow showing a little bit of strength, but I wouldn't say necessarily it's as strong as some of these. It's kind of lagging some of these other equity markets. Okay. So I think with that, guys, unless there's questions, I'm going to continue to kind of monitor the markets. I will be on Top Step TV during fast markets today, guys. So you guys are more than welcome to join me there, see what kind of opportunities I find in the market today. All right. If there are any questions, I'm happy to entertain them. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and close this session as we close most sessions. Okay. And that is trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. All right, guys, have an excellent session today, and hope to see you guys up on Top Step TV during the fast markets. All right. Until then, have an excellent trading day. We'll talk soon.